Around 1500 years ago in Arabia, humanity was in decline. People treated slaves with contempt, buried infant girls alive, and idol worship was rampant. Even idols were kept in the Kaaba. At that time, the Jewish scriptures foretold the arrival of a prophet named Ahmad, who would establish justice across the world. This prophecy is still mentioned in the Bible. The Jews awaited this prophet, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, just as Muslims today await Imam Mahdi. Finally, in 570 CE, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was born. On the same day, the idols in the Kaaba broke on their own. The sacred fire in the Persian temples, which had burned for centuries without extinguishing, suddenly went out, and many other miraculous events occurred. These were signs of the end of disbelief. From childhood, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was known for his truthfulness and honesty, earning him great respect in Arabia. Later, he began managing the business of a respected woman, Hazrat Khadija, R.A. Impressed by his noble character and honesty, Hazrat Khadija sent a proposal of marriage to the Prophet, which he accepted, and they were married. As the Prophet reached the age of 40, he became more inclined towards solitude and often retreated to a cave for worship. One day, the first revelation came to him, marking the beginning of his prophethood. The first to accept Islam were Imam Ali and Hazrat Khadija, R.A. However, those who once respected the Prophet turned against him, threatening to kill him. The people of Makkah persecuted anyone who accepted Islam, torturing them brutally. Despite this, the Prophet's uncle, Abu Talib, and his wife, Hazrat Khadija, stood by him. However, in 619 CE, both Abu Talib and Hazrat Khadija passed away, leaving the Prophet with no support. Faced with increased persecution, Allah commanded the Prophet to migrate to Medina. At that time, only 100 to 200 people had accepted Islam. The people of Medina, having heard about the coming of a prophet from the Jews, welcomed him and embraced Islam. Gradually, all Muslims from Mecca migrated to Medina. In Medina, the Prophet, peace be upon him, established a treaty with the Jewish tribes to jointly defend the city against any attack. 2 years after migrating to Medina, the Muslims fought their first battle, the Battle of Badr. The Makkans, led by Abu Sufyan, sought revenge against the Muslims who had left Makkah empty-handed. Despite being outnumbered with only 313 poorly equipped men, the Muslims triumphed with the help of angels sent by Allah. This victory strengthened the Muslims and was a significant turning point in Islamic history. The Makkans, humiliated by their defeat, sought revenge and assembled a larger army. This led to the Battle of Uhud, where the Muslims initially gained the upper hand. However, due to a strategic error by some Muslim archers, the tide turned, and the Muslims suffered heavy losses. Despite this setback, the Muslims' resolve remained strong. Later, the Makkans and their allies gathered a massive army of 10,000 to attack Medina. In response, the Prophet and his companions dug a trench around the vulnerable parts of the city, employing a tactic suggested by Hazrat Salman Farsi, R.A. This defensive strategy, known as the Battle of the Trench, Ghazwa-e-Khandak, thwarted the enemy's plans. One of the prominent warriors, Amr ibn Abd Wud, managed to cross the trench but was defeated in combat by Imam Ali, R.A. These events demonstrate the trials, sacrifices, and victories that marked the early years of Islam, laying the foundation for a unified Muslim community.